Hello everybody and welcome back to Summon Night Swordcraft story. And like the last episode, I forgot to make this raw 16:9, so I am again looking at the footage in its original 4:3 glory, as we could call it. Anyway, here's our battle with Razzie here. I don't think we actually see her Guardian Beast in this battle. I forget if we do or not, but anyway, same strategy as before with these battles. I just try to heal when necessary. Astral Guard increases your defense, and I think I went over that already, but if not, then you know what it does now. So, same thing as before, just try to lower Razzie's durability here. I think I felt like I called her something else earlier, but if I did, well then I made a mistake. Razzie might be one of the tougher ones because she can deal damage rapidly, and her battle pattern is kind of weird. Oh, there's her Summon Beast. Oh yes, this ability, it prevents her durability from going down, and I'm unsure if it's time-based or whether her weapon gains an invisible durability bar. So this is where I take a lot of damage because I'm just trying to wait this out pretty much. And Razzie has better AI than some of the other opponents you'll fight, or that you fought so far, because she'll actually want to attack you if you guard. Well, not all the time anyway. So she's a very difficult battle simply because of that fact. So keep your distance. Well, don't keep your distance. You need to be up close, but I guess keep your distance while her weapon is invincible, essentially. Because I'm not sure. Yep, it's gone now. I think it's time based because our Astral Guard went away after a certain period of time. If it isn't time-based, then I don't know what it is. If Razzie didn't do that move there, this battle would not have been that big of a deal. But that one move just makes the battle a little bit more annoying than it otherwise would have been. You know, I just remembered something. This game is actually a bit similar to Super World Wars Original Generation, simply because they both came out in the same year, and they had their sequel released within like months. So that's why I think the overall series wasn't so successful, because there wasn't enough time to give both games attention that they deserved, I guess. Because I also don't recall hearing about when the game first came out. I didn't recall hearing about it anywhere, but it doesn't really matter. I like the game, and I don't know if I would classify it as a hidden gem. I don't think it's that well known, but for all I know, it could be very well known. But I think the main problem is that it suffers the same problem as original generations 1 and 2. Is that they were, well, at least the first generation, is that this game came out in 2003, and I believe original generation came out. I'll just look that up real quick so I don't give out wrong information. Original Generation came out in 2002. So, in terms of maybe not graphics, but these were very essentially early Game Boy Advance games that were released near the end of the cycle, Game Boy Advance's life cycle, and at that point they were probably better looking games. I'm not too into. I don't know that much about Game Boy Advance games besides, you know, the main ones like besides the well-known ones, I should say, like Mega Man Zero, Bad Mega Man Battle Network, and stuff like that. Is when I had my Game Boy Advance originally, I had this like those games pretty much. A game I wanted to play but I never was able to because I never actually bought it was Mega Man Battle Network 4. Actually, it was weird because I owned Mega Man Battle Network 3, 5, and 6, but I did not own 4, 1, or 3, which is kind of weird. Even then, I couldn't have played 4 because you needed an original Game Boy Advance, which I do have. I still have my original Game Boy Advance that I got almost essentially on launch, I would guess. I don't know what happened to my SP, actually. What did happen to that thing? I don't remember, but I don't have it anymore, so... I may have traded in for a DS, that may have been what happened. But, either way... Mega Man Battle Network 4 for us would always freeze on the Woodman stage, and we were unsure why that would happen. But it turns out that if you don't play Mega Man Network 4 on an original DS during that on an original Game Boy Advance, I should say, not the SP, not the Micro, it freezes. Now I think that's fixed in the Wii U Virtual Console release, but that's a big goddamn issue that they had in their game. I don't think it was ever fixed. I don't think they ever released like a version 1.1 or anything like that where it was fixed. Anyway, you want to ignore that door there because the staircases to get to Razzi's over there. In my first playthrough, I tried to head into that door, and I messed up every single time. But I think it's impossible for you to actually get in there right now. I don't think there's actually any way to get to where Razzie was or where we are right now. Actually. I don't think you might be able to go through those flowers, but I don't think you can. I don't know, I never tried, and there's no real reason to go back here. I don't know why, but I always tend to have to record Summon Night after I've done another recording session. I should really space this out more because I often go through all the topics I want to talk about in another recording, and then I get to this. I think it may be because the game does a lot of things on its own. Because I don't really need to commentate on the story. There really is nothing to commentate on the story about. Although if there's some interesting points, I'll say something about it. But the story in Summon Night is, it's alright. It's not the best. It's not the worst either. It's meh, I would say. The problem with Summon Night is the lack of sort of variety in areas, because you're pretty much going into the labyrinth throughout the game. I think there's one other place you go to, or two others, but you're pretty much in the labyrinth through the entirety of the game, which is there's not a lot of variety in that. So I think that's one of the game's problems, is that it doesn't have enough variety in what you do, and that's what Summon Night Swordcraft Story 2 fixes, is that you're in a lot of outdoor areas in that game. So that game fixes a lot of the problems that this game had, and is much better overall, I would say. It's a lot more animated, the animations are better, everything's better in Summon Night 2. I think the story is also significantly better as well. It's not the most original story, I would say, but it's good enough where it blows this game out of the water, I would say. Anyway, we don't really do very much exploring in this episode. There's around 2 minutes of sped up footage, and I think it was originally 5 minutes long. And we don't do much but go down to the bottom floor and find out that we need to go back up because we don't have a certain key to move on, and most of the game is spent on doing a laughing at what just happened there. But anyway, most of this video is spent on completing a quest for one of the craft lords to get the key. Anyway, these are the twins we need to fight, Ariel and Mariel, right? Mariel. They aren't too difficult. They use a drill like the like us, yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I couldn't think of our own character, but they use that. So I'd say you probably, if you're using other weapons, you probably want to use Enchant Aqua or something like that, because I think that might make you immune to losing durability on your weapon. But I'm not entirely sure on that, because their weapon is a drill that's thunder based, I believe. So I don't know if Enchant Aqua will actually work, or whether or not it will be whether it will be bad for you, I should say. I'm not entirely sure on how the elemental system works in this game, as it's never a big enough deal for me to really care about it. I think some enemies are certainly weak to certain elements, but you really don't have a way to make use of that, because I don't think you're because you can only use a certain ability a certain amount of times in one battle and a certain amount of times overall. So I don't think Summon Night 2 actually fixes this. I'm not sure, I don't remember. So using like abilities to enchant your weapons only really work when you're fighting against bosses, and even then you'd have to experiment which element works best against them, and that's if they're weak to elements even. So there's a lot of little things that I don't know about the mechanics about Summon Night, but I guess that works to, I guess that doesn't work to its benefit. It works against it a little bit, because its elemental system isn't necessary. You can beat the game without making use of any elements at all, and while that's a good thing, the element system should have a little bit more of an impact. Otherwise, it really doesn't need to be there at all. And I'm unsure if there actually is an element system, because you have these several elemental moves. The game never tells you. At least, if there might be an NPC that tells you, but the game never tells you outright through the story what the different elements do. Maybe in the instruction manual, but the game doesn't tell you that, and that's a lot. I guess that's some of the problems with these older games, is that a lot of the game mechanics were explained in the game manual and not in game, and I don't have the manual for this game, so I can't really explain. So I can't really look at it to see if some of the mechanics are explained in the manual. I guess I'll go into some commentary advice. You know, I used to say a lot, and I think I've caught myself a lot more than I think I've said it a lot less than I used to. And it's only been a few videos. But the best way to prevent yourself from saying is to replace us by breathing. You'll hear me do something like that, or like that. I don't have a pop filter or anything like that, so I can't really prevent some I guess audio quirks, you could call it. So if you're having trouble, if you're doing a speech or something like that and you're saying all the time, what you might want to do is try breathing instead of like practice whatever speech you need to do, whatever public speaking thing you're doing, and try to replace all your uhs with breathing. That usually works for me. Now, I've gotten good practice with this because I do commentary all the time. So, which is why I'm getting practice, and if I ever needed, I think I'd actually need public speaking in a few months for my for one of my college classes, so that's something. anyway, this person tells us that we can find somebody on the second floor to give us the labyrinth key. So yeah, if you really pay attention, you'll hear me breathing inward, and that's on purpose to prevent me from saying and to allow me to continue my continue speaking for quite a while. But anyway, the reason I know where the person we need to find is because I did play this game before, and I just have a brief I had an inkling of where he could be because of my memory of playing the game. I don't know why I went in here, but yeah, if you go right here, the person you need to find is Sakuro, I think is what he's called. Yeah, Sakuro, Master Sakuro. So anyway, he'll have us go on a quest, if you want to call it that, to get certain items, and they don't actually give us anything. So we do get a weapon blueprint, but it's I'll spoil it now. I won't spoil it now. We'll find out what it is soon enough. You know, as I'm playing through this game, I think I'm pretty far into it. I'm not sure if the time in game actually translates to real-time hours, because I think I've played more than 3, but the final game time for me is 3 hours and 30 minutes. Not final game time, the current game time I have, and I think I played for a lot longer than that, but I could be wrong on that, so I'm not entirely sure. It feels like I played for a lot longer than that. Jesus. And when I say the current game time, I mean the game time I have as of my last recording session, and this is from my last recording session and all, I believe. See, this episode uses two pieces of video footage, and currently in my Summonite folder for its sessions, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other video files that I have for footage. Oh no. Okay, hang on. What time am I on the video? So I'm 18. Alright, so hang on, before I started speaking. Alright, I'm just gonna have to wing this because the video paused. Alright, so I'm gonna have to go ahead a little bit. Alrighty then. I think I'm a bit too ahead there. Too far. Alright, hang on. I think I'm back where we were now. I may be a little bit ahead of you guys now, considering I accidentally skipped ahead, so that's unfortunate. So I won't try to commentate on what's going on in the actual video now. Oh no, wait, I'm too far ahead now. Oh crap. Oh god. Oh no. Okay. So yeah, I won't talk about what's going on in the actual video anymore. Okay. Alright, I'll start from here. If you're wondering what my video time is, it's 19:23 and my commentary time is 19:16. So I am unsure of oh no, wait. I think I should have more video time, shouldn't I? Crap. Well, I won't talk about what's going on in the video anymore because I'd be out of sync with the video. So that is really unfortunate. really unfortunate. Ah, god damn it, I messed up. But I'm not going to re-record because I have to go over 20 minutes of footage again, and I'm not about to do that. I would wait to do this again later, or do it another day, but I'm going somewhere tomorrow, on Monday, as I've said it on previous Did I say it earlier? I may have said it earlier in the video. And I don't have time. I'm uploading things in advance, so you guys have videos for that day. If you're wondering what that sound was, that was my water bottle. So, I'm sorry that I'm not no longer in sync with you. So I'll probably end my commentary a few minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes before the video actually ends. So it's not too big of an issue there, because I don't think we do too much but get the side quest done. So what the side quest consists of is we get a ladle for Mr. Sakura there, and then we essentially make curry. I was gonna say soup, but we make curry for him. Now, as I've said, I'm out of sync with you guys now, so it's really hard for me to understand. Well, it's really hard for me to actually talk about what's going on, because I don't know where exactly I am, and I don't want to be out of sync. So for the sake of keeping things interesting, I guess we'll talk about topics not related to the current video at hand, so I can at least make the video somewhat interesting. So let's see what to talk about. I guess I could talk about a bit of my recording sessions. I have discussed this briefly before, but I guess I can go into more in depth on them. When I have a recording session, it's usually because I'm bored and have nothing else to do. Now with post commentary, I can record as much as I want, play as much of the game I want without worrying about commentating over it, which is the benefit of post commentary. If I was doing live commentary, I would have to, when I play a game, I'd have to constantly commentate over it for however long I wanted to play. And there could be several issues with that, because I don't know what could happen during that time. Like, I don't know how to explain it well, but I could be interrupted several times and I could lose my train of thought. I'm interrupted during these post-commentary videos, but the gameplay goes on without my commentary being interrupted. Well, no, the gameplay goes on while I'm being interrupted, and that's the difference. And with that difference, it just makes it easier for me to do post-commentary, because the gameplay can still go on. I've noticed that when I've done live commentaries before, there were times where I just didn't move in the game because I was too busy talking about a tangent that I was on, and it would take me a little while to realize that, hey, I should move on in the game and talk about it. So it also lets me focus on the game and focus on my commentary at the same time, because I've already done something in the game. And I've noticed that I'm sticking on a text box here, which is making my point a little bit invalid here. It was on I don't know if you guys have seen it yet or are going to see it, but you'll just see me stick to a text box for a little while. If that's happened, that's because I think something may have happened where I needed to readjust myself for a second. But for the most part, the game footage can go on without too many interruptions. Of course, if I'm interrupted in real life and I'm going to do something, I will, end the recording and restart it, but that usually isn't a big issue. It's not usually I'm usually not interrupted like within seconds of each other. I don't think I've explained very well over how I feel about the entire thing, but I think you guys should get the gist of what I guess of how I feel about it. Oh yeah, by the way, the Final Fantasy Marathon, I guess I could talk about that progress. The Final Fantasy 13 Marathon, I should say. That's what I'm doing a marathon of, is going on alright. I've gotten the first chapter... I got the first 2 chapters done, I believe. And I'm in chapter 3, which is like Russia. I think that's chapter 3 anyway. And I've gotten about mid 3 midway through like Brescia in that game. So the game has 13 chapters, but some of the chapters are longer than others. That might be obvious, but progress is going steadily on that. It's going steady. I think I could have said that better, but progress is being made. That's the best way to put it. So that's good. And like I said, that'll go up when it's ready, and it probably won't be ready for a few months. I suspect it won't be ready until December, if not later than that. You're probably wondering why it would take me so long to record that game. Is because I'm not playing it all the time, and I need to commentate over the footage. Because think about it, I think one playthrough of the game is around 40 to 50 hours long, depending on what you're doing. And if the gameplay is that long, I'm there for double that time, because I'm watching the footage, well, I'm recording the footage, and then I'm watching it to commentate over it. So whatever game time, whenever there's a game, double that time, and that's how much time I've spent on this. Add like 2 minutes for audio editing, and add another 10 for video editing. Each 10 to like 10 to 20, depending on how many are in the battles there are. I'd say 10 to 15 actually. So that for each video. So imagine that's a lot of time spent on videos. On an overall playthrough, I should say, or walkthrough. Now I've gotten the process of transitioning from getting rid of gameplay to just walkthrough my videos, because I'm gotten better about playing through games overall, and instead of just leaving them off on there. I usually left the gameplay in there to know that it was also a gameplay video, but I'm going to get rid of that and just have the walkthrough tag on the video titles, so it's more evident that it's a walkthrough. And video titles will be shorter that way. I don't want to put Let's Plays, because I see Let's Plays as videos that are very informative and have been test play. And usually with Let's Plays, I consider the games, if they're playing a game, they have play tested it, have done their research, have done a lot of things, so they could very easily, not very easily, but explain in depth what the game is about. People who don't do that, I don't see as real Let's Players. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure that there are like sort of exceptions, but for the most part, people call, like Sugar Conroy, for example, does good jobs on his Let's Plays because he's very informative a lot of the time. If the game has a lot of information to go about, like in his Pokemon playthroughs, for example, he does a lot of things to make sure you know what you need to know about the game if you want to get 100% or stuff like that. Which is why I don't want to call my walkthroughs Let's Plays, because they're not that informative. They can be if I've played a game for a while, but I don't do research into them. I don't do test playthroughs, because people can replay games after they've done a test playthrough, but I don't like doing test playthroughs, because I have a very hard time going back and playing a game right after I've already played the game. Like I tried doing hero mode on Skyward Sword after I finished the game, and I could barely get past the introduction because I couldn't do it. Anyway, how much longer is there in the video? 4 minutes left. Because of that little hiccup, I'm gonna end the commentary here, because it'll be very difficult for me to commentate on what's going on in the video, and I've commentated over a decent length. We don't do much besides finish this little quest here. It's not a side quest, so so once we finish this little quest here, I don't do much. So I'll see you guys again next time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video. Jesus. I often have a little bit of trouble saying some stuff while doing commentary, but anyway, see you guys later. Bye.